What's up, everybody? We're back at it again with another live interview. We got Smitty's Serpents with us, and I'll go ahead and let him introduce himself.
What's going on, guys? I'm Ryan with Smittys Serpents, and I'm really excited to be here right now.
I appreciate you jumping on and be willing to hang out with us and share your passion with us. It's always awesome. Hi, Morbid, or Miss Morbid. Appreciate you jumping in. So what all do you work with?
So I'm still new. I'm really new. I started out, I went to a reptile show and about 2019. And the first thing that I really kind of saw that blew me away was the dreamsicle. And that's kind of what started this whole thing. I looked into it. I started out as a kid collecting, same story everyone has. I had, ball pythons when I was a kid, but the ball pythons were just the normals, and so, I moved on with my life, and I became an adult and did, the whole career thing and everything. And I ended up going out to a reptile show with a buddy of mine from work and his kids. And his kids on the way there were talking about the Dreamsicle project and talking about all these ball pythons. And so I got there, and the Dreamsicle really stuck out to me. But I ended up going home with a banana that day. The Dreamsicle obviously was a little bit much, but banana was a real big, one of my favorites when I saw it at the show too. Plus it was cost, I could buy it, it wasn't super
right.
And I had no idea.
Dreamsicles are still pretty up there right now.
Yeah, exactly. I had no idea I was going to get into it like I am now. This is 2019. And so, I bought the glass aquarium, and I go home and I piss off my wife, and, she couldn't believe I brought home a snake. And then I just dove into that hole, that Morph Market hole. I ended up meeting, a couple of guys there, and I just started going into that hole. And so the next thing I really got into was the Dreamsicle, but I got into the pieds. And I met a really good dude there at the reptile show. I'm not sure you guys have heard of his name ever before, but Mike Porter. And Mike's a firefighter, and I'm actually a cop.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't he running? Is it the one that has the raccoons?
No, Porter's Pythons. Mike Porter. He's an OG in the game, man. Bald-headed dude, little white guy. You'll see who he has. The pumpkin.
I might know who it is. There's so many people that I talk to, and
you'll know who Porter's Pythons is. Mike's an OG in the game, and so anyways, I was really attracted to pieds. I gave you kind of a long story, but the pieds, and so long story short, I ended up realizing that a glass 40 or gallon glass enclosure isn't really suitable for ball pythons. And I had no idea about the rack systems. I had no idea about anything. And I just got into it, and I just dove down the hole. And this was 2019, and now I've got, over 70 snakes. And so to answer your question, I'm mostly attracted to the piebald. That's kind of my big thing is piebald.
So is that all you keep is ball pythons?
Yeah, that's all I have.
Right on. I like ball pythons. That's kind of where we started, was with ball pythons and red-tailed boas, way back when I was a kid, and it was my uncles that had them, but they worked construction, so we had to take care of them.
Yeah, and my dad brought home a rosy boa from a coworker one time. I guess a coworker bred snakes when I was younger, and my dad came home with a rosy boa, and I had that. Yeah, I just, over the years, I love animals, but I just really, in 2019, it just kind of hit me, and I was like, holy crap. And then I looked into the money. I mean, I saw what these snakes were making, and it was crazy. It was insane. And that's another reason why I jumped into it. I figured it could be some extra income, and it's fun, so.
It was funny. It's funny you say, like the price on the animals and stuff, because I just had a conversation today trying to explain how this pure black lizard, which was the the black dragon, was worth about $5,000. or let alone $2,000. And it blew people's minds that people would spend that on reptiles. I was like, oh, you think that's much? Like, you need to look into some of these ball pythons and other genetics.
I just had this same conversation. Like I said, I'm a cop and I work with a bunch of cops at work, and I work graveyard right now, so we have some downtime at night. 4:00 in the morning. I was typing some reports, and a buddy of mine who knows that I breed ball pythons, he was asking me about some of my stuff, and he was kind of diving into the hole. And he asked me some of my most anticipated clutches this year, and I told him I got a het monsoon het pied that I'm really excited about. And I showed him some of the prices. Like, there hasn't been a monsoon piebald made yet, but there's some monsoon het piebalds. Like Billy has one for $17,500 right now. And so I showed him that one, and the prices are just insane. I mean, a visual monsoon female is about 10K, and a male's going for, I think, 17K. So the prices on some of these are insane. But the prices have dropped a lot too. I mean, when I got into the game, pieds, I mean, you get a yellow belly pied or a pied, you're looking at $900,000. I mean, I think they've dropped quite a bit, recently.
I remember back in, I want to say like 2000, 2010 area. I remember when the albino ball python was selling for like 20+ K.
Yeah.
And I was like,
$100.
Now you can get them for a couple $100. I mean, I can go down the road and go pick one of them up for $100.
But that goes with any gene, I mean,
right.
You've got some of these bangers that Miguel's making, these clowns, and they're 20, 30K a piece.
Miguel's killing it right now.
Big time.
Big time.
And it's the supply and demand. I mean, obviously there's only a couple of clutches made of a specific animal. Those are going to be crazy. And now there's, and since 2019, I've seen a lot of people come into the business, and a lot of people leave too, and so I think that there was like a little bit of a craze during the pandemic, and now I believe we're in a recession, but I believe there's a lot of people that are, struggling right now and getting rid of their collection. And, it's tough. It's going to go up and down, I mean, but I look at it like this: if dudes like Billy or Kabelka or even Mike Porter that have been in the game for 10 years can go through those ups and downs, I'm going to be able to do it. This isn't my full-time job, so
right.
I work, I make some money, but this is my hobby and my passion now. And so it's not what supports the family. If it was, I'd be in trouble because I haven't sold a snake in a while, but
right.
But it's fun, man. I love it. I was in here till 2:00 in the morning last night, ultrasounding. I mean, I just love it. It's fun, it's amazing.
It's good that like I find people that like for instance, like you said, you've only been doing this for a short time and stuff, and I mean, you're killing it on Instagram, man.
I appreciate that.
And so like to be able to have the passion that you have, that's why I like bringing on people that are, I want to say like small time people or anything like that, because I don't want to bring you guys down, but like people that are not like super known or anything, like, like I could always reach out to Kabelka or anybody like that and try to get them on the show. But I love giving you guys the spotlight and, kind of talking with you guys and listening to you, talk about your passion. Because I mean, we've only been doing this for 10 minutes now. And I mean, I can tell you, man, you're really passionate about this. You're getting really excited about it. And I love it.
No,
so
man,
I love the energy.
I'm not ashamed. I'm a new booty. And like I said, I come from a paramilitary organization as a cop, and I've got 20 years on, so I'm a senior dude now. I'm like a Kabelka at work. In the ball python game, I'm a new boot. We call our probationers or our new guys boots because they're at the bottom, and I'm a boot. And I give those dudes all the respect in the world because they look at the stuff they've made. I mean, this is what they've done for us and for me. And now I get a chance to work with some of the stuff they're working with, and so, but as a new booty, I do appreciate, I mean, you hit me up and I said yes immediately because I want to get my name out there. That's how all these dudes are. I see old videos of Justin, old videos of Billy, even when Miguel was newer, 5-6 years ago. That's how they start. And that's how I figure I can start, is just getting, I mean, I wish my Instagram was bigger than it was, but, I mean, hey,
It'll get
I've only
there.
been in
It'll
the
get
game for
there.
3 years, you know?
Yeah, no, it'll get there. I'm late to the social media, so I've been doing this for 18 years, and I'm late to social media. I wasn't a big social media guy. I didn't like Facebook very much. Instagram came out, and I remember everybody was using hashtags, and I'm like, yep, I'm not gonna be that guy. Not gonna
I
be that
think I
guy.
got my first Instagram account in like 2018. I don't know how old you are. I'm 40, 41. I mean,
25.
I'm from the MySpace era and stuff like that. I never had a
I remember
MySpace account.
MySpace.
Yeah, I never
I
had
liked
MySpace.
MySpace. They had a lot more cool games.
I never had Facebook. I never had any of that shit. You know who? And another person that's a real big inspiration and a friend to me is Bomb Projects, Kalen and
Yep.
D. You know, D kind of helped me come up with the name. You know, and I look at her and appreciate her because she's turned me on to the branding and the getting out there and get your name out there. You know, the branding, the shirts, the
Yep.
hats, the the Instagram.
I
Billy's
like
really
the logo. It looks super cool.
appreciate that. Yeah. But Dave, you know, I'm just learning from everybody, man. That's all I can do is just keep learning. And it's again, like you said, it's the animals, it's the business, it's the branding, it's the getting your name out there, it's everything. And that's what I'm really learning. Going to shows and being
Yep.
personable with the people and talking to the people. And you know, and it does get frustrating. I've done a few shows and didn't do very well. And it's like, God dang, you look at someone else who's selling 15, 20 snakes. But you know what? I can't let it bother me, you know, because if I act like an asshole and look at, no one's going to want to buy a snake from me anyways. But it's a chance for
Right.
me to get out there and talk to people and meet people. And you know, who cares if you buy a snake or from me or not? You know, at least I know
Nope.
who you are now. Maybe you'll buy one from me in the future, maybe you won't. But at least we become friends now. You know.
The way I see it is when you do shows, it's the last thing on my mind was let's push this for sale, sale, sell. I was just there to have a good time and hang
True.
out with everybody, and we had a lot of people come out because we vended our very first show. Most times I vend and I help people, but I never sell my own animals at like vend my own animals. I normally help at somebody else's booth, or and I wholesale my animals to other vendors and stuff, or whatever the case may be. So we never really actually vended or brought our own animals and sat at the table and did it. Penny, what up, Penny? But so we actually got to do that for the very first time, and
Which show?
just no with Brian.
With Brian?
Yeah, Brian from JTK Reptiles.
Okay. What show were you guys at?
We were at Pomona, the Reptile Super Show.
Yeah. I
And
got
then,
COVID. I was supposed to be there.
oh, were you really?
Yeah.
Are you going to be vending any of the Anaheim or the next Pomona?
I'm hoping. I've been sharing a table with Leland, Rikers Reptiles.
Oh yeah, I saw Rikers.
Yeah,
they weren't too far from us.
Yeah, I was supposed to have a table with them this year. I had Pomona last year, and I shared a table with them at Pomona last year.
Oh, so I might have saw you last year too, because we've gone to almost every Pomona so far. And most times I just go over and I help Brian. And this time he was like, "Hey, dude, like you always have a ton of stuff for sale. Why don't you bring stuff out, like vend?" And so I was like, "If you're cool with it, like I want to be that guy."
Yeah.
And he was like, "Nah, dude, just pay for the table and like hang out." And so I was like, "I'm down. So we went and we exchanged while we were selling stuff and everything. But be honest, we did really well at Pomona. I had a lot of fun
there.
I had leopard geckos, I had tarantulas, I had sand boas, I had a whole bunch of different things.
Yeah, see, I only have ball pythons, and I didn't have a very big selection, and that was my biggest mistake. I think my first show, I really wanted to get the experience and get in there and sell some snakes. I had a few high priced OD YB G-Nex, babies. They're $2,000 at the time. They were $2,000 snakes for females, 2,500 ish. And that's a lot of money to ask for somebody at a show, I didn't really have
I thought the same thing, to be honest with you. I really thought the same thing. But I took a het albino proven breeder female, a sulcata tortoise that was 150 pounds. And I took her up there, and Brian, I told Brian how much I was going to sell her for. He was like, dude, don't sell her higher. I was like, what do you mean higher?
Oh,
He's like,
really?
no. He's like, dude, like I kid you not. I was like, I'll put her up for $500. He's all, put her up for 15. I was like, 15? He's like, wait, let me see her. Let me see her. He goes and I had pulled her out. He's all, put her up for 2,000. I was like, no way somebody's gonna pay 2,000 for this. Walked out of there with 1,700 just off her.
Wow. Wow.
So I mean, I thought that was like an insane like thing to ask somebody at the show. But no, dude, when people show up there, they show up with something in mind and cash in hand.
Yeah. And I only had those. I had a few clowns, and I had a few normal double het dreamsicles. I mean, I sold a few. I think I sold 2 over the weekend. But again, this is my year. I've only had a total of 3 clutches in my whole time so far. But this year, okay. I've got probably 10 females that are going right now. So I'm gonna have.
So you're getting ready for like Pomona, Anaheim area?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Nice.
I'm gonna be ready. Yeah.
Sure.
I'm excited about this year. I got some big stuff. A lot of the stuff that I started out, like I said, in 2019, and a lot of the stuff that I bought over the last couple of years were all juvenile babies. So they've all started to grow, and they're all starting to mature, and they're all starting to develop follicles. I mean, last night, like I said, I got some at 17, 20 millimeters. So I'm going this year, and I've got some, big stuff. So I'm excited.
That's awesome.
About that. Yeah.
I'm excited to see what you bring, because I'm going to be vending Anaheim. We'll be in the back right corner. And we're getting a big island. So it's going to be, Brian from JTK Reptiles, myself, and then we're going to be there with Don from Highlighter Chameleons, and then we got John from Sims Containers going to be out there with us.
I need to get a hold of Leland and I were supposed to vend together, but Leland's not sure. I need to call him, or I need to get a hold of what's his name, the guy that runs the show.
Rami. Rami.
Yeah, Rami. I got to either get a hold of him and ask him for a table for myself, or see what's going on. I hope it's not too late.
I would get on it like as of tonight or tomorrow and hit them up and because those shows booked up quick. I don't know if there's any extra tables.
This is the thing. Because I might not be ready. I might not have any clutches again. So I'm thinking next season I got to invest in some cases, some display cases. I was borrowing one from Leland. I only had one that had 15 spots on it. I borrowed a case from Mike Porter. But I need to start getting the display. I've got a banner, but I want to get something nice and set up and professional. And
that's what I'm trying to do right now.
I wanted to get my feet wet, and I kind of rushed it. And but
nothing beats the experience of vending your own animals. Just because you didn't sell, you sold a couple things.
I sold
it helps you out, but nothing beats the experience of like I said, this was our first time doing it. We've sold other people's animals, we've helped them out vending, things like that. So that wasn't the first time that we vended, but this is the first time that we brought our animals and vended our own stuff. And I mean, just that it's exhausting, 100%, but it was so much fun.
It was
like I had a lot of fun. I kept bringing out like the big sulcata before she sold. I was pulling her out. She was drawing in giant crowds because everybody's like, "That's a walking freaking boulder over there," because she was huge. Yeah. And it's funny because I think the funniest part of that whole show was I had a lady who was standing in front of her, and she had paint open toes, so she had the sandals on, and she had purple toenails. And she's standing in front of a 150-pound sulcata who is eyeballing her freaking toes. And she was going after her toes. I'm like, lady, you got to move. And she was like, why? I'm like, your toenail. She thinks it's food. She's like, oh, it's fine. I was like, okay, whatever, dude. You lose a toe, you're gone. I've seen it. I've seen this thing literally take a chomp out of a carrot and rip it in half. And I've seen that carrot be this thick. I was like, so you're going to lose that toe. And she's like, I'll be fine. She's like, that tortoise ain't want me. You're crazy. I let the tortoise go, dude. You see her going right after that. And she screamed and took off.
Yeah, those tortoises are no joke.
Hell no, dude. She went right for her. Everybody was laughing. And then I got her to come back, and not the lady, but the tortoise. And Well, she kept demeaning the tortoise. It was weird. I don't know what her thing was with that. Like she's like, oh, I've had bigger ones at home, like one of those people.
The one-uppers.
Yeah, I was like, you even know what this is? She's like, this is a Galapagos. I was like, I know for sure you don't have a Galapagos. I'm gonna tell you that right now, lady, because this isn't a Galapagos. This is a sulcata. And it was just funny. Oh, you got some fans in the chat. Here you go, bro.
Hey, Jeremy, what's up, buddy?
But no, so we had a lot of fun though. It's funny. I think we had a couple people and they're like, "Hey, I don't want to overstep our bounds, but like, would it be okay if our kid, like, they had little babies and they were like maybe like 2-3 years old, and then like, can we put them on the tortoise or like next to the tortoise?" I was like, "Here, give me one of your kids. Like, just give me one of them." They're like, "Okay, here." Like, just gave her to me, and I put her on the tortoise. Tortoise doesn't care. She, 150 pounds. That thing bulldozes through like concrete just for the hell of it. And so I put the kid on top, and it was funny because my kids sometimes will jump on the larger tortoises, and they'll sit down, and the tortoise will just walk off. Like, it doesn't really stress them out, don't bother them. Because I watched, it was funny. My son got on one, and I went to feed, and so I threw food like 5-10 feet away from where the tortoise was actually at when my son got on it, and it just darted towards the food, and he's just sitting there on the tortoise, and the tortoise started eating with him sitting there, and tortoise didn't give no care, like, at all. But also I put the little kid on the tortoise, and the little kid's like all excited, and the parents are all like excited. It was super cool.
That's cool. That's one of the best things about the shows, I think, is the kids. You got a snake out, and yet they're really scared to death of it, or females super scared of the snake, and once they hold it, they realize it, and their eyes just get so big, and they're so excited. That's one of my favorite things of the show, is seeing the kids and how excited they are.
Yeah, that was my thing, is like, and then so I got yelled at. I ended up giving away one of my reptiles, or actually two of the leopard geckos. There was kids there, and they came up, and one of them was for his birthday, and this is his first reptile, but he knew literally everything I could ask about a leopard gecko. And like, he really wanted one. He did his research. Kid's like 6-7 years old, and he is like schooling me on leopard gecko care. And I'm like, I like you. I like it. And so he told me his budget, and I was like, "You have anything like, tanks, tub, anything?" And the mom expressed to me that she didn't. So we had everything to set up, and it was just out of her price range to be able to get the setup and the animals. Like, you know what? Buy the setup from Brian over here at JTK. That's all his stuff. I'll help you out with this stuff. Let me, like, if you get all that, I will give you this gecko. That's and cool. Dude, I ended up, they bought everything. I gave them the gecko, and they hit me up the other day, like, giving me an update, like, it's doing fantastic. Showed me a little video of it eating some mealworms and stuff, and the whole setup looks nice. And I was like, man, this kid was all excited. He's all, "Thanks, Rodriguez Reptiles." He's all like waving his hand. He's all excited. Cool.
I got one person that sent me a follow-up with the snake that I sold from the show, and that's really cool to see that they're really, digging it, and it's something you created, something you made, and it's really cool to see people excited about something that you gave them and made,
For sure. I think that's one of my favorite things about the show, is I think the kids more make the show, like, watching them light up like a Christmas tree because they got a new animal, or just being super excited about seeing them or being able to hold them. Huh?
Just holding one, just being able to hold a snake for their first time, yeah. Just amazing.
Yeah, we had one of our fans come over, and she had one of her tegus with us that she got the year prior, and we were hanging out with her, and man, we were passing the tegu around to the little kids, and she did a lot of work for a super friendly tegu, and so like, this thing was just like, we put it on the kid, and the kid just sat there, like, did not care, was super chill, and the kid's all super excited. He's like, "This thing's almost as big as me." He's like, "I'm gonna touch it." And he kept petting it, and they're like, "Stop!" The parents, "Well, stop moving. We're trying to get a picture." He's like, "Too cool." He just kept going. It's so much fun though. But let's see. So, what is your favorite reptile in your collection?
probably, I mean, what I started with is probably going to be my dreamsicle. You know, I mean, that's my favorite right now is the dreamsicle. But I mean, like I don't know. I mean, they're all.
So do you have a dreamsicle?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, do you guys
Oh,
want me
okay.
to bust it out?
Oh, I mean, if you want to, that'd be cool.
Yeah, yeah.
Man, I gotta give you one of those shirts. I freaking love it. It's that logo is just so cool.
So this is the male dreamsicle.
Here, let me solo you out real quick. What is it? Why is it acting up? What are you doing, phone? Why won't it let me? For some reason, my thing's not working, letting me solo you out. Give me 1 second.
This is my favorite, one of my favorites right here. This is what it all started with. And I'm more of a medium white pied kind of guy, but I mean, I love this thing. He is just beautiful. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out the camera. But I love this. This is what it's all about. This is what it started with, and this is what the Irish, the Irish dude on my logo is holding is the dreamsicle. So this is probably what started out one of my favorite jeans right here.
I like
but
it.
I'm really excited about. Cool. I do have one other one that I'm super excited about this year, and that's the one that I talked to you about a minute ago.
Yep.
Let me show you this one. So I bought this one from Billy, and I've shown it on my Instagram, and I bought it as a 66% Het Monsoon, but Billy's pretty sure it's going to prove Het Monsoon, Het Pied.
Okay.
But this is a leopard special yellow belly, 66% Het Monsoon Pied, Het Pied.
That is beautiful.
The patterns on this bad boy, I don't know if you can see, but you know, monsoon, yep. Het Monsoon markers, the circles around the patterns and stuff.
Yeah, that is super pretty.
I'm really excited about this boy, and he is a locking machine. He locks with everything right now.
That's super cool.
He's and I've got him to a few pied females right now, and he's gonna make some beautiful stuff. I'm really excited about him. But I mean, with the pattern, you can see these circles on his. It's hard to, like the circles on the back and stuff. I mean, he's gonna prove. You can tell he's gonna prove. The only reason Billy sold him as 66% because he wasn't 100% sure, but I mean, you can tell. So, and I really respect Billy for that because you could see he could have sold it for 100% Het Monsoon, but you know. Billy's a good dude, solid dude, and he hooked me up. But I'm really excited about this snake right now. This is the one I'm really looking forward to this season. Is this snake right here? That's
super cool. Yeah, Billy's a really cool guy. You know, I've talked to Billy before. We've actually, I've done a few lives with him on Instagram. He's popped in a few times on our Instagram. Really down to earth guy. For somebody that's got like such a large following, it's really cool to, you know. He's like one of the guys type thing, you know, like he doesn't have like any type of ego or anything like that. He's just down to earth, super knowledgeable dude. He's really fun to have on the live. Always cool to have a good or like an awesome chat with him just to hang out.
It's funny because when I first started doing like getting into snakes and you know, you start YouTubing and start Googling stuff. And I remember I saw a video of Billy and, you know, he was like, I think he was doing like a feeding video or something. And he's like, you know, look, I got shit in the tub. There's nothing wrong with that. Look, I'm giving it a, you know, they're little baby snakes. I'm giving it a fuzzy. If you don't see a lump in the snake's belly, you need to feed it bigger. And he's like kind of talking shit, you know, like, and I'm like, who is this asshole? You know, I had no idea who he is. And I was like, that guy like sounds like a dick, you know?
I think the funniest thing Billy has ever done that I have seen is there was a guy, you remember, I don't know if, okay, so you've been in this since you said 2019?
Yeah.
So, okay, so it was either the year before that or that year. So it was when Texas had that really bad, like, freeze over.
Yeah.
And everybody, a lot of people.
Year.
And a lot of people lost some like power and heating, and a lot of people lost some of their snakes. Well, some of the people were like, "Hey, can I like get this animal to you and then get it back when everything calms down. And so one guy, he had one of his friends reached out. Well, what he thought was his friend, reached out to him, and he was like, "Hey, can you help me? Like, my animals are here. I have no heating. The power keeps going on and off over here. Can I
They're
bring?"
going through that right now too.
Are they really?
Again, right now.
Oh, that's insane.
Yeah.
But no, so he was like, "Hey, I know you're good." And so he was like, "Oh, can I bring them up there?" And instead, "Yo, Riker, what up?" He's like, "Hey, can I bring my animals up to you?" And the dude was like, "No, like, I don't fucking want your animals here." Like, he was just a complete dick about it. Then went on to proceed to make a video and a whole ass post stating, like, if you're in Texas and you didn't prepare for blah blah blah, like, dude, he went off.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and then I think the funniest thing Billy ever did is he made a simple video. He's all taking out the trash, ripped the sticker off the sticker wall, walked all the way to the bathroom, threw that shit in the toilet, and pissed on it.
Yeah, yeah. When I first saw Billy on YouTube, and I'm like, what the. Like, this dude's tattooed and fucking, he's kind of like doesn't give a fuck. And I'm like, who is this guy? Dude, the nicest dude I've ever met in the game. The most humble, will help you out in a minute, will call you. I mean, the guy's kind of a famous, breeder, but the dude doesn't act like it. He'll talk to you and call you, text you in a minute. And it means so much to me. I mean, like I said, I'm a new booty. I'm a new boot. And the dude treats me like one of his boys, And so, yeah.
That's how he is, man. And I mean,
never judge a book by his cover, because I thought he was an asshole seeing some of his videos. And the guy is the most solid dude in the industry.
Yeah, he's one of my favorite people on Instagram and YouTube. Like his my channel, my content, or when he posts those, I'm always there for those. I love them. It cracks me up.
Those are so motivating when he goes on his tyrants, like, oh, fucking this and that. And I get up and I'm all excited. I miss those videos. I was just talking to him a few days ago, and I told him, I go, man, you need to get back. And he's got a lot, man. He's got a lot on his hands, and
for sure,
he was able to do it for a while, and and he was burning the candle at both ends. And I think it caught up to him a little bit,
Yeah, especially because he expanded out of just ball pythons. He's got, like the caiman lizards and a few other animals over there now, and and then he's got a huge ass collection, expanding the building and. Making more racks and
shit. I've got about 60 animals, and that's enough for me. Plus, I'm breeding my rats and everything. Man,
you're breeding rats too?
Yeah, I've got to. I mean, have you seen the prices of?
I can't do it, man. I want to breed rats.
You're buying food every week?
No, I'm buying. I buy wholesale feeder frozen.
Oh, frozen.
I do frozen thawed. I'm frozen thawed on almost everything. The only
rats are freaking going crazy. I mean, I had to buy food the other day because my rat. I think it's cold right now, and they're not. They kind of slow down on reproduction. But I think I bought 25 little small or mediums. It was like $110. I mean, it's super.
Damn.
Yeah, it's really expensive right now. So I've been breeding since the beginning, since I first had my my melamine rack, a 10 stack rack. I started breeding my own rats in the beginning. That's how I ended up meeting D and Kaylin too. I was breeding. I had a 5 stack rack of rats, and they were breeding like crazy. And I was overrun by rats, and so I posted a little something on Offer Up or something, and that's how I ended up meeting Kaylin and Dee. They first started buying rats from me before anyone knew who they were. Yeah.
Yeah, no, we bred rats way back when, and I couldn't stand the smell.
It's a lot of work.
I didn't have a lot of I have over 400 reptiles. I've got more. I got snakes. I've got lizards. I've got frogs, toads, tortoises, turtles. I got it all. We try to work with like a little collection of everything. So that way we have more than, like just snakes or just lizards, things like that. Because not everybody's looking for ball pythons. Not everybody likes just, you know, freaking geckos. You know, some people like want something bigger. So then, you know, I got tegus, monitors, as well as, you know, some people like smaller snakes. So we've got like the colubrids, and other people like the big snakes. So like the 13-footer that's probably there. Yep, there she is.
Is this what you do full time? Is this
This
your income?
This is what I do full time, 100%. I'm in here. So I have 2 reptile rooms and then my outdoors. So I have this room that I do almost all of my videos from, and then I have my bedroom, which is basically a reptile room, and then in the corner there's a bed.
What do you sell most of?
Most of it just depends
What's
on the
your
time of day.
best seller?
Bestseller, Pac-Man frogs. Pac-Man
Really?
frog, 100%. I wholesale Pac-Man frogs to a lot of, so I sell to 18 different stores.
Oh,
And Pac-Man store, or I mean, in Pac-Man's, they breed like no tomorrow. Like one female can have about 1,000 eggs.
wow.
And then out of that, you'll have maybe about 800 hatch out in the water. So you have like 800 tadpoles. And then the cannibalism is real, like real crazy in there. So then by the time they all like stop eating each other, I mean, no matter how much food you put in there,
Yeah.
they're going to eat each other. And so by the time they actually come out of the water, you've got like between 200 and 400 Pac-Man frogs in each like breeding.
That's still quite
And
a
then
bit.
so you like those sell fast.
Oh, good.
Like everybody, because like I feel bad about like saying this, but there's so many people that get so many people that get Pac-Man frogs, but they don't realize the special things that they have to do. Like you can't just go get tap water and then just pour it in the enclosure and pour it on the snake or pour it on the animal. There's, especially if like depending on where you live, there's so much salt, there's so much like
What do
there's
you
so many
use?
different
What kind of water? RO or?
RO, yeah, you gotta treat the water. You can also get like what you do like for fish and stuff to get like the chlorine and all that extra stuff out. You can actually treat it. And you can do so much like that. How much is a wholesale Pac-Man frog? Depends on the morph, because I have almost every single morph besides I think there's like 3 that I don't have. And one of the main ones that I really, really want to get is the mutant gene. Mutants are just super cool. For those that don't know what that is, they're not like something crazy where they're growing an extra arm out of their head or anything. The genetic is basically like kind of like a pied. Like you have the
Do you
super
have one you
white
can
blood.
show?
No, I got one. Not. I don't have a mutant gene. I don't have the mutant gene. I want the mutant gene.
Oh.
That's like something I really, really want. But they're like a couple thousand. Like it depends.
Wow.
Like there's one I saw at the show was a mutant. Was it a mutant teal? Which is like a teal color. And a samurai blue. And that one, or samurai blue mutant, and those were selling for over like 1,000. I think the one was 1,500 and the other one was like 12 something. Yeah, it was insane. So average price on them, you're looking for wholesale, you're looking at between 10 to maybe 15, $20. Depends on what you're getting. If you're getting greens are like $10 a piece, wholesale. And then, then you got your albinos, which are like 12. And then once you start moving up to like the higher end stuff, like your strawberries, your raspberries,
How do you sex those things?
So it's easy actually. So in the front, the males have bigger thumbs, and on top of that, they get a pad. So the males get like this really rough pad right here in the inside of their front feet, to hold that female in place. And females actually get bigger than the males because the males piggyback ride on the females.
Oh, interesting.
So it's pretty cool. Any tips on getting a Pac-Man to eat? Was eating like a savage, now has stopped. Check your temperature. I would change the substrate and the water in it, because there's a chance that if it stopped eating, the water could be that's sitting in the substrate could actually be turning toxic. If you have a black light and you hit hit your substrate with a black light, that's right. The reason I have this is a flashlight, and then it actually turns into a black light. And the reason that I keep a black light in here, for some of our frogs, if you shine a black light on your substrate and it turns green, that means your water is actually going bad and growing bacteria. And if you leave your frogs in too much of bacterial water, then they can get what's called what is it? Was it stagnant water, toxic static water syndrome type thing. And basically what they'll do is it's almost like certain death. Sometimes you can bring them back. You'll have to flush their
Wow.
system by constantly putting them in clean water and then pulling them out and letting them like pee and then putting them in clean water. It's stressful as hell, but it's the only way to really flush that toxic water out of their system. And what it'll do is they'll start looking like you ever seen like a fainting goat? You scare it and they fall over. It's basically the same thing as for a Pac-Man frog. If you open the drawer and this thing like just planks straight out and like just like sits there and you can tell it's breathing, but it just like planks out. That's how you know you have toxic water syndrome. And it's crazy. But yeah, that would be my other thing. Other than that, if it's not the substrate or the temperature, then that thing's either just tired of what you're feeding it, or you just got to rub it on its face and it'll open its mouth, get angry, and eat it. I got to do that to a few.
What do you feed them?
It depends. So some of my really larger ones are rodent eaters. They will not touch bugs anymore. Yeah. Oh yeah. I've got some that are about the size of my hand.
Oh wow.
And they eat adult mice.
Oh wow.
Oh yeah, I got pixie frogs too, big pixie frogs. Those are our second best seller.
Wow.
Everybody wants pixie frogs because they get about the size of a freaking dinner plate.
Wow.
Yeah,
I never got into that stuff.
They're hungry hippos. People that like to post like live feedings and stuff, they love the pixie frogs because they're big green, like big old frogs, but they also have fangs, so they bite in and actually eat their whole prey, and it's insane. Are they
venomous?
No. No. They're just cool as hell though. They just have big ass fangs to hold the prey item and then like to kind of help crush as they're eating it. Because the difference between pixie frogs and Pac-Man frogs are ambush predators, as to where a pixie frog, it's going to chase down its food. And so they have to they have to go and actually catch it, and then the fangs are to hold whatever it puts in its mouth. Yeah. As to where the Pac-Man frog is more like a trap door. Pac-Man frog sits there, gets close enough, and its fat tongue comes out and pulls you into its big old mouth.
That's crazy.
So that's the only difference between those. But the breeding on those is so different. Like Pac-Man frogs are probably one of the easiest frogs to breed, in my opinion. It's just once you get it down, you got to make rain chambers and have a ton of sponge filters, and it's a process. And once you kind of like break it down and do it, it's super easy. But until you're able to like really work on how to do it, it can be very stressful for sure.
Wow.
Appreciate you, Fry, one of our sponsors, showing up in the chat, showing love. Appreciate you. I'll double check everything. Right on, bro. If you have any questions, you can always call me. You know that. Even though you didn't get the animal from me, I'm always here to help you guys out as much as I can. So how did you get into the hobby?
Just like I said earlier, I was with a buddy of mine from work, and his kids, we're friends, and his kids hit me up, and they were going to a reptile show. They went to I think it was the one down in San Diego. There was one at Miramar or something like that, or I forget where it was, at the fairgrounds. Yeah. And I went down there, and that's where I ended up getting the banana. And on the way down there, we were talking about the Dreamsicle, and they were showing me Morph Market. I had never heard of Morph Market. And I was just driving down there and started looking through it, and they showed me the Dreamsicle, and I was like, man, that is beautiful. And back then, I mean, a male was a couple grand, and a female was even more, like $4 or $5 grand. And I was just like, God dang, those are beautiful. And so that's how I got into it, just going to a show. I hadn't been to a show in years. I mean, I don't think I'd ever been to a reptile show. And then, like I said, the last time I saw a ball python when I was younger, they were just normals. And so I go to the show, and I mean, the colors on these snakes were just absolutely beautiful. And that's what kind of drew me into it. And that's cool. I can't keep a big snake like that. I really want one, but I just don't have the room for it.
She is 13 feet, and I can hear her, like when she moved, I can hear her right here, just sliding her fat self across the side, and it just, like, it sounds like she's out. So I'm like, why do you keep sounding like you're out? But it's because she's right on the glass trying to
How do
get
you
out.
handle that by yourself?
I just pull her out. She's cool.
Really?
Well,
You
I'm
know, I have a
6
funny
foot. No.
I have a funny
Oh, go ahead.
story. So when I was a kid, I was actually on the news. I had a buddy, or I was a kid, so I was probably 10, maybe 9, and I lived in like Lakewood area near Long, kind of on the border of Long Beach. And
Mhm.
my neighbor, he was a kid. I forget his name because we were kids growing up, and then we moved and we lost touch. But he had a big old retic or a Burmese. I forget what it was. He bred rabbits, or he had a cage outside with rabbits. He went in to feed his snake, and the snake coiled around his leg, and no one else was home. He was a kid. He was yelling for help, screaming in the backyard or wherever he was feeding it. His neighbor heard him, called 911, and then the fire department came. They were going to cut the snake and kill it, and he's like, no, 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 and they uncoiled it. But the like Channel 11 came out and interviewed him. A bunch of news people came, and I was just over there hanging out. And so they were like, "How does it feel having a friend that has such big?" And I was, I just wanted to be on the news. I was a kid, but yeah, I'll never forget that. I've always wanted to find that video of it, but I couldn't imagine handling those snakes by yourself.
So if you ever get to the point where you are handling a big snake, this will actually save your life. So if you're ever handling a big snake and for whatever reason this thing decides, hey, I'm going to bite you and I'm going to wrap you, whether it's a food response, whether this thing just got pissed off that you
I
touched
think
it the
it
wrong
smelled the
way.
rabbits.
It probably smelled the rabbits. Yeah, for sure. That sounds like it was a feeding response. And so if it's ever anything like that and you get wrapped, stay calm and find the snake's tail. And the reason I say that is if you actually pull out even ball pythons, it doesn't matter what
That's
you
the
have
weakest
used.
part, right?
Well, so like it's super sensitive to them. They don't like their tails being messed with. But all you got to do is grab that tail and bite it. I mean, just bite the tail. And if you bite the tail, it's like a eat or be eaten type of situation.
Have you
And
ever had to do that?
I've had to do it 3 times.
No shit.
Yeah, I had to do it with an 18-foot retic. And that's my girl Lucy. Lucy is short for Lucifer. And the reason that I have her, she's really aggressive, and I'll probably never rehome her because of her like aggressiveness. But it's not her fault. She was just super mistreated before we got her. These people kept her in a sterilite tub, like one of the biggest ones you can get from Walmart, and just let a 18-foot, or so when I got her, she was like maybe 14 to 16 foot.
Wow.
But they let a 16-foot snake live in a super tiny freaking tub, and she just she lived in that thing. They tried to tell me, oh no, she's only in there for transport, when there's this much at the bottom caked of urate, and then there's like that much more of like stuck shed and all the other pieces on the bottom there. Like there's no way she just did all that.
Why wouldn't
right
you be pissed off for the rest of your life,
Yeah, so she has an issue with people. Sometimes she has really good days where she'll just come right out and let me handle her and bring her outside, and she does really well. And then other days she's like, I'm gonna eat you, and she'll come right out. Like I have to cover her glass, so like she's in an enclosure like these are, and I actually have to put brown butcher paper all the way across, because if she sees your shadow or sees you walk by, she will slam that glass, and she's actually broken the glass before.
It's like a cobra.
Yeah, she's pretty quick with it. But she's like the speed of a cobra, but instead of like them striking and backing off, most of it's actually for show, by the way. With cobras, and most of that's like straight show. They won't even open their mouth sometimes. They'll just try to like puff at you and scare you.
Yeah.
But for her, she will throw all of her weight into this, and she's a big snake. She'll eat. She tried to eat 2 4-pound pigs, and like look for seconds type thing. Like she's a fat girl. But no, I love her. She's just a love-hate relationship. I love her. She hates me and the world. I've seen her strike her own shadow at one point.
Since you do this, and it's kind of off topic, but this would be my first year. Since you do this as a business, do you file all the paperwork as a business and do all that? And like,
LLC.
That's
Full.
that's
Yep.
what I've got an EIN, I think it is.
Yep.
Basically, yeah. And I started
That's
that
just
this
your
year.
tax ID number.
Yes, and this is going to be the first year doing that, and so I'm trying to figure out all the different things to do, and business wise, because I'm not business minded. I mean, I'm a cop, and
My wife's the one that does all my paperwork and stuff. I'm the face and the guy that's dumb enough to stick my hand in that thing's mouth.
Yeah.
She's the smarts of it all. But
Yeah,
I
but I'm
could
trying to figure all that stuff out too.
yeah, I'll ask her. See if she can help you out on certain things. And see if she can kind of help you walk through the process. Try to help you with that.
Yeah.
Because I know
I've talked to Dee, and like I said, they're real knowledgeable about that stuff, especially Dee, and she turned me on to it too, and so this will be my first year filing it, as a business doing this stuff. So
right on. Yeah, it's always good to have an LLC, especially when you're breeding and selling snakes or just reptiles in general, or even rodents.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you're constantly selling stuff and you're operating like a business, it's always good to have an LLC. It doesn't really it doesn't hurt not to have one. Like it's always good. It doesn't, like, for a lot of people, like I hear it from time to time again where people are like, oh, I only sell like 5 or 10 snakes a year. I don't need an LLC. I'm like, yeah, well, if something happens and you get sued, that's where your LLC saves your ass.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where that's at. But other than that, yeah, because you're limited liability. That's all LLC really is. But no, yeah. Yeah, we had to do LLC because of all the vending of shows and all the animals. And then we do like educational shows. We take the animals to schools, and we go and do a whole bunch of stuff like that. It's in the educational shows at like private events. So we have to have that whole thing so that way we can actually like charge them for what we're doing.
Yeah.
We have a question from the comments. Riker wants to know, what's your first clutch this year?
I have no idea. I haven't had one, but the biggest follicles last night that I was doing was that het monsoon het pied male. He's paired to a big female pied right now, and she's pretty big. It's either that or an Orange Dream ODYB Gene X pied clutch. They're real big right now, so we'll see.
Mine right now was the albino female bred to a black pastel het for albino. So I'm hoping to make some black pastel albinos.
Yeah. I have a black pastel pied female. And
nice.
She's, huh?
I said nice.
Yeah, thank you. And she's slowly growing though. She's a real picky eater. Real picky eater. I got this not too long ago too. I'll show you this. This is another one that I just picked up not too long ago, and I'm really, really stoked about her. She's got, I don't know if the camera can show.
Dream?
No, the bright oranges.
Yeah.
Right there. And it's hard to tell, but so she's a pastel blackhead het dreamsicle, het lavender albino pied.
Wow.
So pastel blackhead double het lavender albino pied. And it's got the marker right there.
The het influence has to be pushing that orange out, huh?
It's just gorgeous. The pastel and the blackhead together. Oh, and I have one more clutch that I'm that's paired up right now that I'm really excited about. It's a Mandarin het pied to clutch right now. So I have a male Mandarin het pied, and Mandarin's super fire right now. It's real popular. So that I have paired to a pied right now as well.
That is awesome.
Yeah, Mandarin's really taking off right now.
The one that's probably gonna hit you over some blackhead stuff is the guy that's in the comment right there. That dude is real big into blackhead right now. He loves blackhead.
That's my first one, and I love it. It's beautiful.
Yeah, that is a beautiful animal. I love the orange that really like pops on that. Yeah. Oh hey, shout out to the wife that's in the chat, showed up. Appreciate you, wife.
You gotta love the wives, right, for letting us do all this stuff.
Oh, well, the cool thing was with this one is, so she actually was into reptiles as well.
Oh,
So
I wish
she
mine
is
was.
just as bad as me, if not worse. So I kid you not, we both said, okay, we're gonna get out of leopard geckos. And so we got out of leopard geckos because I wanted to work with more big reptiles. So I was like, all right, I want to get more tegus. I want to get more, monitors, things like that. So I did. I got a lot of tegus and probably have too many. And we have a lot of monitors and stuff now. And next thing I know, apparently her friend was getting out of geckos. And next thing I have a 20 something freaking leopard geckos in this room. And she's like, you can't sell this one. You can't sell that one. I'm keeping this one. You can't sell that one. And I'm like, can I sell any of them? She's like, no, you
No,
cannot. She's like,
I
they're
can't get.
mine.
I can't get my wife to hold a snake. She's never held a snake. But listen, she puts up with this nonsense, and I'm grateful for that.
Uh-oh. She came in quick. I'm in danger.
You didn't help your case when you got me a Burmese for Mother's Day and then another Burmese to go with it for our anniversary. So you're not helping your case because you enable me.
I feel like that's just father or like husband of the year award right there. Like I don't know if that was a nominee or not, but
Yeah.
She's pointing at the 13-foot albino. She's like enabling.
You're an enabler. That's what you do.
Yeah, that's cool. She's into that stuff. Very, very cool.
It took a little bit to try to get her into like the bigger stuff because she had a ball python. So once I kind of like started bringing home like bigger snakes, she's like, okay, I want this, but I'm scared to hang out with it. Like, what do I do? Like, what is it? Bull crap. When I put the big red tail on Nagini.
She was heavy as fuck.
Yeah, Nagini was. Yeah, she was a heavy snake.
She was obese.
She was.
Yeah,
I got a rescue. I got to rescue a really big it was a red tail boa, but she was power fed galore. And so she was already like 13, 14 foot, and she was super round. Because the dude was just feeding her a ton of rabbits. And so I ended up getting her, and I had to build a whole outdoor enclosure and everything. To be able to like have her naturally move around and like lose that weight naturally without like having to starve her or anything.
Yeah.
And it was sad because when she lost the weight, she looked deflated, but she was at a healthy weight.
Yeah.
Because when like
the skin on the sides and stuff.
Yeah, like she looked deflated because when I got her, so for red tails, their body should be more of like a rectangle or like a square body. She was so fat that she had scale separation.
Wow.
And so like as if she was gravid, but she wasn't gravid. She was just fat. It was really sad. But I got her to a healthy weight. I got her really good. And like I said, she was like 14 plus feet. Like she's a big big red tail. And a lot of people didn't believe me until they came out. We had I think like 7 or 8 breeders from here in Arizona that come like look at her because nobody believed how big she was. And after they left, they were like, "Yep, that's a big freaking red tail."
So you're in Arizona?
Yeah, I'm out in Arizona.
Oh, I thought you were in Cali.
No, I just vend a lot of shows out there. Yeah, Cali's too expensive for my taste. No.
Yeah, the first thing I'm gonna do when I retire is move. I'm out of here. I'm done.
Yeah,
I'm not down with all the politics and all the BS and.
Yeah, you especially being a cop, I definitely understand how you know more of the gun laws than I do, and your guys' laws out there are insane.
Huge Second Amendment advocate. I believe everyone should be able to protect themselves and care. I mean, you got these bad guys out here robbing and shooting people, and people should be armed to protect themselves. And
100%.
That's a whole nother topic. But
no, you're good. You're good. I get it. That's why I don't do lives in that other room because there's reptiles and then there's my Second Amendments all over my walls. Yeah. Like I've got enough to supply a small army.
I just see
a lot of gun advocates in my family.
I deal with victims every single day at work, and I honestly believe, and I work in a violent area. I work in South Central, and
so you're out that way.
Yeah. And I see victims every single day, and people would be able to protect themselves. I think this community would be a lot safer, responsible gun ownership. I don't believe everyone should be carrying a gun, but I do believe that people. I mean, it's our Second Amendment. That's the second thing they wrote in the amendments.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yep.
but
I get it. I'm with you on it 100%. I'm with you over 100%. Eric over here wants to know, any blackhead het clown males available?
That's the only blackhead I have right now. I don't have it. I mean, that's the only thing I have. So no, I'm sorry. I need to start making
Eric.
clowns.
That's his nice way of saying no, Eric, not for you.
No, honestly, she's the very first blackhead I've ever bought. This is the first blackhead I've ever bought.
It's very. Let's see. I wish my wife would buy me. My wife buys me snakes.
Me too.
A lot of times it's not snakes that I want, but she buys me snakes.
If I see it and it's a good deal, it's coming on.
Yeah, that's about right. But at least she doesn't yell about everything I do with the business. Oh no, I get yelled at constantly. We're paid in full. Where are we gonna move to, Ryan?
Hey Leland, since you're on here, are we gonna do the Anaheim show or what, bud? Putting you on the spot.
Yeah.
Because we need to get a table ASAP.
Yeah, we're setting up. We're like, oh hey, shout out to the awesome moderator in the chat. Bosa, found your stickers.
I got them in the tub.
There you go.
Hey, I've been following that dude's Instagram, man, and that guy really lost a lot of weight and did really good, huh?
Who? Aaron? Bosa?
Bosa, yeah.
Yeah. His name is Aaron. I call him Aaron.
Aaron.
Aaron. Yeah. Everybody. I got that started. I think that's hilarious because every time he goes live now, there's like 7 or 8 people going, Aaron. And I'm like, I love it.
Yeah, he's really done good with that weight loss, man.
Oh yeah. I told him, I was like, man, you're gonna have to teach me your secrets. But then he was like, something about a diet, and I was like, I'm out.
Yeah.
He says he wants to vend.
We got to do it, Leland. We got to get on it.
Yeah, I talked to him on Sunday night for a brief minute before while he was packing up. No, Riker. I talked to Rami. We're vending. We'll be there for Anaheim and Pomona. We're getting a huge island, so we're getting that whole like square.
I literally the Thursday before, or Wednesday or Thursday before the show, I tested positive for COVID. I was freaking sicker than a dog.
Yeah.
So I couldn't make it.
Yeah, I heard a few people were that way. A few people caught COVID and stuff before the show, and a lot of people didn't show up. So Rami ended up giving like a couple tables to some of the vendors that were like right next to it. They gave them the option to like have the table. And it was crazy though. That show was fun though. The show was fun.
Yeah,
it was really cool to see you out there.
I would have loved to have been there.
Well, hopefully I see you at Anaheim. That'll be the first time that I've been to Anaheim. Most times I only ever just go to Pomona, but this is going to be our first time actually vending at Anaheim. So we're going to be there. It's going to be a huge booth. It's going to be myself, JTK, Sims Containers, Mezzo, Primal Creatures. It'll be, I think the Snake Father is going to be there with us. Don from Highlighter Chameleon is going to come out with us as well. So we're going to have a whole like 13 tables or more. I think it's like, awesome. Yeah, I think it's like 13 tables. And then apparently I'm supposed to fill up like 2 or 3 tables. I'm like, dude, I got you. I'm bringing a ton of frogs, but I got you. But yeah, we're bringing a whole bunch of stuff. No, what was that? No sugar or bread. Lower the sugar to 23 grams, and you will drop weight. That's hard for me. You know, if I was to bleed right now, I would bleed Mountain Dew.
Oh man.
Mountain Dew sponsor me. No.
There you go.
Mountain Dew and Monster.
Yeah, Mountain Dew and Monster. I'm totally unhealthy. I made Bosa laugh. Freaking Ron. Let's see. So let's see, where am I at here? I know I've asked him quite a few questions. We got on some rants and stuff. That's great.
This one.
I think
the most anticipated.
Maybe. Did I ask you what your favorite morph was?
Yeah, the pie. Yeah, pied, but I'm getting into clown too. I'm really excited about some clown stuff. I also have a clown pied project going right now too that I'm really excited about. But monsoon, I'm super excited about monsoon. I'm excited about everything, to be honest with you. I just love being in the ball python game.
For sure, there's
I
just
love them
so
all.
much that like each genetic like just does with like it's crazy when you add like let's say 3 genes to one snake and then you have the same pull 2 of those genes out to another snake and you put them together and it is like night and day with them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
and I was talking to this about Jeremy the last time when I was on his thing, and it's like there's so many different morphs that are like that people are creating, like Miguel with the clowns, and like you see like the redhead gene and all these new genes, and it's like, oh my god, like I want to get in that. And it's like you're always chasing like that those awesome new genes, and it is what it is. It's fun.
It's something everybody wants. I wouldn't say to chase it because but something to definitely like strive for.
Yes. And I've learned that. In the beginning, I was like, oh man, I got to get that. Well, you got to wait a few years for it to grow up. And by the time that it does grow up to breed, now there's some, and so I'm excited for what I've got. I'm really excited about the monsoon stuff too. That's a big deal that I'm really excited about. So I love it. I mean, breeding and cutting eggs, and it's like Christmas and summer, it's freaking fun.
For sure. No, I get it. I mean, that's why I like working with just a little of everything, because even if like the ball pythons aren't going right now, I have the frogs going, or I have something else going. So we try to breed a little of everything, and since we can temperature control stuff, we try to breed year round. For different species or some of the same species. Just let them go at a different times of the year, so that way we're not like overrun with just one species or multiple overruns. You really gotta space that out with the Pac-Man frogs. If you breed all of them at once, holy cow, that would be insane.
Oh, I bet. Yeah.
That would take, because each pairing takes up almost 2 racks full of.
So you keep the frogs in racks as well?
Yep. Yeah, they do really well in racks. They do fantastic. And I use Premier or Sunshine peat moss. And it's all natural. There's no added chemicals or fertilizers. It's all natural. And for $12 to $15 for a 50-pound bag, you can't beat it.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at
moss in there, and
no, it's actually dirt. Like it's I know it's a sphagnum peat moss, but it's just like peat moss. So basically, here I'll pull some out so you can see what I'm talking about. So this is the Savannah monitor's cage, and the second you see my hand is gonna try to bite me. Here it comes. So you can see it's just just dirt. Now this is really dry because he is a dry lizard. He's from Africa. So this one I keep dry, but for the most part, like the iguana and all the frogs and stuff, they are super moist. Even the albino Burmese is on it too. All my big snakes are on it. It dirties them up a little bit because it's when it dries up, it's a little like dusty. But it hasn't given anybody a respiratory. I've been using it for years, and so I stand by it 100%. And when they poop or go to the bathroom or whatever, it clumps up into one area. So you can just literally pick that whole thing up, throw it away, spot clean a little bit, sift the dirt around, and then add more dirt if you so choose. Or, you can just completely wipe out the entire enclosure, add more, and you have that inexpensive dirt. First clutch of the year here, hopefully, is a clown het pied to a cinnamon pied het clown. Ooh, damn. She is over 30 millimeter. Keep an eye on Princess Leia. Love it.
Yeah, he names the snakes.
I named my animals for the most part. It's just like the major ones, because when you're over 400 something animals, it gets hard to remember everybody's name, and you got to start writing numbers.
He tells me all the time. He's like, "Oh yeah, Princess Leia is about." I'm like, "Who the fuck is Princess Leia? I don't know." That. Like, well, that's the or Becky or whatever. And I'm just like,
Becky.
I don't remember the names to your snakes, man.
But
I love Leland. He's a good dude.
I was about to say, yeah, all her geckos have names.
We've got Cheeto. I have every Disney princess.
Yep.
And then I have Flynn Rider, and now I need more males.
Yeah.
He names all his after Star
Wars.
Trek or Star Wars, and then
He said Star Trek.
I'm sorry, I'm not into that stuff. And then what's Friends or what is it, Rikers? It's Friends and Star Wars or Friends.
You just Riker's over here like having like an aneurysm. You're over here. You're all yeah. He names them after Star Trek. It's all Star Wars. Like,
sorry, my bad.
What? It's like Ted. What is it? Ted 2 or the spaceship? He's like that freaking spaceship. He's like, come on, it's the Millennium Falcon.
I never got into that stuff.
That's funny. But no, yeah, like with this one above me, this is Big Bertha, the one that's going crazy in there. Oh, there she goes on that side. So
like
that's
Big Bertha. That's like a normal name, you know. Like if it's
a
big ass female, Big Bertha, you know.
Nah, like, Big Bertha. And then I got Gluttony in here, and that's the Savannah.
I think Lucy's a pretty common name for a snake too.
Yeah, Lucifer. A lot of people like that. Yeah, Lucifer. A lot of people. That's been more common lately. Back when I did it, I didn't know anybody that had a snake named Lucy. Until like a lot of like the Lucy, you know, Belle phase, blue-eyed Lucy's. Yeah. That's when most people did that. I started doing like the Lucy name. But other than that, I didn't know anybody until just recent. But I think it's because of my buddy Brian Barczyk. I think that's like I think that's like why everybody's naming it is because he's got a Lucifer. Let's see, The Office, then Star Wars, Friends, Lost, now Grey's Anatomy.
Yeah, he names him after
Snow White for Belle, for my Belle. That's awesome. So let's see. So what is your most anticipated pairing or hatching for this season?
The monsoon, the het monsoon male to the pied. Super excited about that. Really excited about that. And then the I have a clown pied clutch that I'm looking forward to. I've really enjoyed clown pied stuff. And then hi.
Hello.
How are you? And then dreamsicle stuff. I got a bunch of cool stuff that I'm really excited. I'm excited about all of them, to be honest with you. But the monsoon is probably my biggest anticipated this year. How old's your little girl?
7.
I got an 8-year-old.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
She just turned 7 in January. Actually, at Pomona on Saturday was her birthday. So it's funny because at the show, she's like, "Dad, what are we gonna do for my birthday?" I was like, "Oh, you didn't hear?" I was like, "Yeah, like, you know, these people heard it was your birthday, so they put on this big 2-day event for you."
That's cool.
And so it was funny because Rami came up to the table and he was talking to us, and she's like, "It's my birthday today. Hi."
She heard me talking about her, and she wanted to get on. She's in some of my YouTube videos. I tried doing some YouTube videos, and she inspired me to do them.
For sure. It's I 100% encourage it.
Yeah. She started. She was I think 4 years old, and she was posting her own YouTube videos on YouTube. How old were you?
No, I think I was like 7 or 6.
No. This wasn't last year. It was a couple years ago, and she started making her own videos and posting them. And me and mom had no idea. We weren't too happy about it, and so she inspired me to make some YouTube videos for Smittys Serpents.
That's awesome. So you guys do have a YouTube and everything now?
Yeah. I haven't been as consistent. Again, I'm new. I don't have a whole lot. I'm not cutting eggs every day like Miguel is. I don't know. I could, you know, I really look. Baker over at Blue Line Morphs. He's another good friend of mine too, and he's the one that really talked to me about the business side of it too. I mean, he told me, you know, and got me into Instagram. Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. That's all free advertisement. And so
100%. The new one that I recommend is TikTok. I did not believe in TikTok. I was like, the heck with it. I want no part of that. And then I went over to the dark side, and we just started being able to go live. And okay. So YouTube has super chats. So you get, people send the money, and then they get like a big old like thing on the screen as a super chat, and stuff like that. So that's only when you're monetized. So you need 1,000 1,000 followers on TikTok to be able to go live. I hit that after not even trying for like, I don't know, 2 months. Really? I've been trying on this for like, I don't know, since February of last year, and I'm only at 800, and I think I was like 849 before this video started. So if we hit 850, so we get that extra subscriber, then we will be at our next milestone. Because we need 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours to get monetized here on YouTube. Or now the new thing is either 4,000 watch hours or 10 million views on shorts. Moon, what up? So hold on real quick. Riker, I think that's funny that you're naming the family members of Snake, because then like if you ever get mad at that family member, just like, talk crap to the snake. No, I'm just kidding. Because I have a snake named after a friend of mine. His name is Kyle, and everybody ends up like going fucking Kyle. So the snake's name is fucking Kyle, but for short, it's Kyle.
It's not easy building a following. It's tough. I mean, you got to be really consistent. I haven't on the videos. The only videos I've really, getting back to Baker. Baker's really good at like, he shows off his snakes and shows off his pairings. He shows. He keeps showing like, not the same exact snakes every video, but he only has so many snakes. So you see him sometimes in the video. And to me, I'm like, okay, if I show this snake once, like why show it again on YouTube? But he's really like giving me schooling about it. He's like, who cares? Someone might not have seen that other video, so show this video. And,
oh yeah, no. If I post one video, it's posted on every platform, and if I don't do it at the same time, I'll do it at different times. So like today, I'll probably post a rattlesnake video on here. And then, for tomorrow morning, for our YouTube shorts, it'll probably be, a rattlesnake. And then on Instagram, it'll probably be like a Gila monster. And then on TikTok, probably going to be a rattlesnake. Facebook, I post here and there. It's kind of more like a post and go type thing.
The problem for me is coming up with content. Like, I think about like, well, this person's already done that. This person's already done that. Like my
don't think that way. Don't think that way.
So my buddy who films for me, he goes, well, why don't you show him how you your substrate, how you prepare your substrate? Well, there's a million videos on YouTube that already done that. He goes, so what? What if someone just comes across? So I'm in the mentality like people have already done that. He goes, who cares? You haven't done it, so why don't you do it? Yep. And so that's where I'm at. Like creatively, I just kind of get stuck thinking, okay, they've already done this. Why am I doing it? And he goes, who cares?
My best thing to say to that is there's no one right way to do something. Everybody does something a little different. And if you want to you want to do YouTube, my best advice to you, take one day and do just, say you're doing maintenance on your cages. One day, if you want to do like YouTube shorts or Instagram reels, sit there, pull out your snake, do like a 15, like just different angles of the one snake, shut the drawer. Go to the next one. 15 seconds, boom, boom, boom. 15-second videos, there you go. There's your Instagram post. Like we add some music to that, make it look a little weird, make it look cool. Do that on Instagram.
I'm not very computer literate, and I don't know how to do any of that stuff.
All you got, so like for Instagram, it's pretty simple. You just if you ever posted a reel before on Instagram.
Yeah.
So it's basically the same thing. Just you upload that, add a song to it, and that's it. So like the way I do things, I don't know if you ever watch some of our content. Like we'll get right up on it, or like we'll sit there on like zoomed out, and then we get right up on it, and then we back off, and then we'll kind of like just go around, and it's changing the perspective, and it keeps the attention of people. Because believe it or not, I hate to say this, but people have short attention spans these days.
Yeah.
And so if you're not constant, like that's why I move around a lot, because if I just sit like this and do nothing the entire time, it's boring. So I just kind of move, and then people are like, hey, what's that moving? So that's why I really like having her up there, because she's spastic and she's all over the place. The one time I hear her moving, but I don't. Oh, there she is. She's in the top corner. There she is. So it's that constant moving and popping up that catches somebody's eye. And you know, it's all it is. It's just keeping that attention. But take one day, do a bunch of videos, and then just for YouTube, you can schedule your posts out. And I would just do that one video every day or every other day and stay consistent with it. So consistency is key when it comes to YouTube, and the same with like Instagram. Instagram is more of a hit or miss, more of like trending songs at that point, because the people see more of the trending songs or the hashtags, or for the most part. But for
I just get in my head, man. I just, oh, this is gonna be stupid, and my buddy's like, dude, who cares? Just post it. And I just get weird about that stuff. I think about the people at work that watch and laugh about it or this or that, and I've got to stop. I've got to not even give a shit.
I totally understand. I've been doing this for a little bit now, and when I first started, I hated the sound of my own voice. I was like, I did like 17 retakes for one video, for like just to explain why certain things were the way they were in the video. Like for we did a tour around not a tour, it was we went around the Pomona, and we were interviewing, filming the show and stuff, and I had to mute a few times, and people were like, why is there no audio for this? I was like, okay, so then, okay, maybe I should do in the videos, I should explain why. So I explained, okay, well, everywhere I went, there was this kid who kind of kept going the same direction we were going, and he was just constantly screaming at his mom because his mom wouldn't buy him anything on the table. And so, like, I had to say it without sounding like a dick. And so, like, I hated the sound of my own voice. I kept making tons of retakes. And people were like, no, dude, it sounded great the first time. Why'd you do 17 other retakes? I'm like, I sound stupid. They're like, no, you sound fine. And it took that, like, my own mindset. Like, I hate my own voice, you know, things like that. So you're like, you know, and I went through the same thing. Other people are doing this content. Why post my stuff? And, you know, every day I still kind of have that mentality. But to see that we're almost at 850 subscribers, and that means that I must be doing something right. So those people must like what we're doing, even if it's the same stuff they see on larger channels. They must like us doing it as well. Is the way.
And that's where I've got to stop my. That's where I got to stop my thinking. I just got to keep doing it and stay consistent.
For sure.
And it's hard with, you know, I work full time. I work some overtime. I mean, I'm, you know, again, this is kind of a hobby and a second thing to me, but hopefully I'll be able to invest more time in it soon.
Well, you got this. So I am on a little bit of a time crunch on this one. So I got a couple more questions for you. Just because of, you know, like I said, I got a couple things with my boy I got to do. So the last two questions I actually have three, but the last one's more of a outro. If you had the chance to own one or a pair of anything, what would it be and why? And you have like all the permits included, experience, everything.
Oh, anything. Jeez.
Go ahead and explain. I'll be right back because I actually hear my son. I gotta go deal with him. I'll be right back.
I don't know. To be honest with you, I'm just into ball pythons right now. I mean, if I could get anything, I'm really into the monsoon stuff right now. So maybe a couple of visual monsoons. I'm not sure. While he's gone, I'm going to show this. I don't know if you guys can see this. Leland, you there? Can you see this? I think your mic's off.
There it is.
Hello, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good.
He needed a bathroom break.
My little girl came in right after you came in. What's your name?
Malaya. That's what my
Malaya.
name is.
That is beautiful.
Gassy pants.
My little girl's sassy too. She's super sassy. See, come here, girl. Say hi. I'm just joking. She's not sassy. She gets mad at me. Say hi to Malaya.
Hi. Hello.
You lost some teeth. She lost some teeth a while ago too.
Yeah,
The
hers
tooth-
was gone for maybe like 2 months before it even started coming back in. I was like, I don't know if it's gonna come back.
I came back in like that. I did came back
Did
in.
the
other
tooth
one
fairy
comes
come?
back Did the tooth fairy come?
Yeah, I get
Did the
so
tooth fairy come
serious
for you? Yeah,
You didn't see
the
it
tooth fairy
No.
came too.
because I don't agree with it.
because you didn't dream of it.
Hello, Hazard.
I can't believe you're so supportive with them snakes and stuff. My old lady does not like them at all.
I was so desperate. I was thinking.
Yeah, my very first one was a corn snake when I was 8. So of course
Okay.
I don't remember like if it was anything special, but I don't think it was. And eventually my sister let it out in the house.
Oh
And
wow.
so my mom like banned me from having snakes for the longest time, even though this thing was only like, this big.
My head.
It wasn't huge. And
I had one get loose not too long ago, and I tried my hardest not to let her know, but then I was like, I've got to let her know just
What's
because
this You read it?
those are Dad's questions.
You read.
Yeah, we're supposed to be asking. Dad said to continue his life, so it's probably gonna be a long one.
You read it.
You read it. You're the one in school. Yeah,
What
he
grade
said
are
he
you
does.
in?
What grade are you in?
First grade.
Don't tell him about me.
First grade.
I'm in first grade. Third.
First grade. What grade are you in?
Third.
Third grade. She's in third.
I'm hard.
It's not hard.
Well, kind
Oh my God. No, it's not.
Something.
No, it's not.
Something.
It is. All right.
Some.
What do you like those?
Gotcha.
Do you like the big snake back there?
That's me. You like the big snake back there?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, it's huge.
I'm pretty with the shit out.
Hey, what's your favorite snake?
Oh,
All of them.
yeah.
All of them.
Good answer.
That's-
Good answer.
That's the way I look at it too.
But the thing I like is that huge fat one.
Hey, she's not fat.
She is, because she's huge and fat. Get it?
Yeah.
See, I just have the little baby small ones.
Let me see that. Right.
Just
Cool.
that's all I got. Little baby small ones. I don't have the big ones compared to you.
Yeah, show me.
Yeah.
Which one? Oh yeah, I ain't pulling that out.
Okay.
That thing's heavy.
Okay.
You know
then.
that?
No.
We'll turn. Don't worry about it.
I want to hold it, show it to them. Want to hold it, show it to them.
Don't ask me genetics because I don't know. That's all gibberish to me.
See?
Wow,
Look at
that
that.
is beautiful. Look at that.
I know. My dad loves it. I think.
That is
You think?
gorgeous.
You think your dad loves it?
Yeah, I think. Here's your dad, but that is like.
You got it.
Yeah, tell him another one. Okay, well, considering I don't know what bites in this room and what doesn't, just this is the smallest one I had next to me.
I think she likes you.
And that's all I need is you getting bit by something. All right, Malia, what's the next question?
What's the next question, Malia?
I want to show you things.
She's looking for more snakes.
Stop showing my butt, Mom. Stop touching.
So if you had the chance to own one or a pair of, if you had all the permits and everything
Oh,
necessary.
that was the one he just asked
Was
me.
it? Because
Yeah.
he told me that's the one he was on.
Yeah.
All right. So if you had advice for someone wanting to get into reptile breeding, what would be your advice?
Plan. That's my biggest thing. That was my biggest thing was planning. I just jumped into it and I bought everything that I thought was cool at the time. And I bought a lot of males. I think buying females first, because again, it takes a few years for them to mature big enough to
Right.
breed. Plan on what kind of projects you really want to get into, and then invest in the females first, and then eventually buy the male. Because I bought a lot of males when I first started. And
So you're male heavy.
Yeah, and I'm super male heavy. So I wish I would have invested in more females and then the males. All right,
Well, you have to ask your dad to take more things out because he knows where everything is.
What are you looking for?
She just wants to show them something.
Oh,
The snakes.
You know, some snakes.
She showed off that ball python. I don't know which one that is.
That is a pastel Woma.
Voila.
There you go.
Now I remember that.
I heard him. I heard his answer while I was walking in, and then I also heard it from the other room. Go. Hey.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing was I bought a lot of males in the beginning because males are cheaper, and then I had no plan. I didn't know what I was gonna do. I didn't know if this was just gonna be I didn't know if this was just gonna be a hobby or if it was gonna turn into a business or what. But I bought too many males, and I wish I would have bought a lot more females back then.
I know the feeling. I made the same mistake. And bought a ton of males, and then just because they were multi-gene males, and then I bought a handful of females, and I was like, I have a problem here. I have more males to do, or that I don't know what to do with, than females.
I still have that problem, and I'm not letting them go. I probably should, but I eventually someday I'll probably get to them. But right now, again, this is my only third season too, so I still got time. But I didn't think about the fact in the beginning when I was brand new that you could put a male to multiple females, and and I was closed-minded, and I was thinking, okay, I need a male for this project and a female for this project. Okay, and then I need another male and female for this project, and then you know what I'm saying? So I didn't really think about the multi-gene males that I could put to multi girls,
multiple
but
females.
Now I'm starting to understand that a little bit better.
That's all just a learning process. I mean, like I tell everybody, or I tell this to everybody, when your first 3 to 4 years is mostly just really learning and honing what you're trying to achieve. The
mistakes.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The first 1 to 3 years is where you make most of your mistakes. I mean, yeah, especially like breeding wise. There's the chances you miss the follicles. There's the chances you miss ovulation, or before you breed after ovulation. Or you overextend your male. There's so much that goes into it that people don't realize when they first get into it. I'm not very good at taking over. It's okay, but I appreciate you. It's always I want to try to get her to start being co-host for like our Tuesday lives and stuff, and
cool.
kind of bring her into this. VR6 turbo buffering. You did good, Destiny. See, look, Bosa. Shout out to Bosa. Appreciate you, AA Ron. So I think my last one for you is, how can my followers find you, and what platforms all are you on?
So the most easiest is the Instagram. It's at Smittys_Serpents, and that's where I have my I guess it's called a link tree.
Yep.
Again, I'm not a link tree, and it has where you can go to see my morph market and my YouTube channel.
For sure. Make sure to send that to me, and I will put your link tree in the description of this video. So for everybody that watches this or wants to be able to find his YouTube and everything,
how do I send that? I'll have to figure it out. I'll hit you up.
I'll copy it. If it's on your Instagram, I got you. I'll be able to find it and copy it.
I'm telling you, when I say I'm computer illiterate, I don't know much about social media, so
it's all good. Well, I appreciate you jumping on and sharing your passion with us. It means a lot. I think the best gift people can give is their time. So you jumping on here and doing this,
man. Thank you.
No, I had a fantastic conversation. I loved talking with you. This is great. And I hope to see some big things from you this season, and hopefully get to see you at Anaheim or Pomona or both.
If I'm not vending, I'll definitely be there both days. I'll be hanging out with Bomb Projects with Mike Porter, and I'll be over there. But if we can get a table, I'd like to try to get a table. I don't have a whole lot, but again, it's for the experience of meeting people there. But yeah, I'll definitely be in Anaheim for sure.
Right on. Well, that's all for now, guys. I appreciate everybody in the chat. Much love to everybody showing love to my wife for taking over for me. I appreciate every one of you guys. Shout out to the sponsors. Appreciate you jumping on, and I'll catch you guys all on the next one.